Parliament erupts. PMQ snub local elections and reveal Nigel Farage growing. Influence LONDON. In a surprising turn during this week's Prime Minister's questions, PMQs, neither Prime Minister Keir Starmer nor leader of the opposition Kemi Badenoch uttered a single word about the recent local elections, a silence that spoke volumes to political watchers across Westminster. Political commentator reactions have been swift, with many interpreting the omission as a shared embarrassment between the two main party leaders. On the latest episode of Hot Takes, one host put it bluntly, they were both completely humiliated. It's as though there was an unwritten rule, if we ignore it, perhaps it will go away. But the glaring omission has highlighted something much larger brewing in British politics, the rise of Nigel Farage and Reform UK. As the two major parties clashed quietly over routine matters in the Commons chamber, one name remained conspicuously absent, yet unmistakably present in the minds of MPs and the public alike. Although Starmer is the Prime Minister and Badenoch is the leader of the opposition, the host explained, it's quite clear that the real power in this country is Nigel Farage. He has the power, just not yet the office. And it's not just rhetoric. Reform UK's shockwaves in the local elections shook traditional power bases. With victories and surges in areas once considered safe Labour or Conservative territory, Farage's movement is no longer viewed as fringe. It's increasingly being acknowledged, albeit often begrudgingly, as a legitimate political force with grassroots traction and disruptive appeal. The silence in Parliament on this shift, however, was deafening. Neither Starmer nor Badenoch seemed willing to touch the topic, raising eyebrows among analysts. They're embarrassed. They're humiliated. They're scared, the Hot Takes host continued. And they know that there is absolutely nothing they can do. While Westminster has seen its share of political theatre, this episode of PMQs was markedly subdued. The usual fiery exchanges and strategic jabs gave way to cautious posturing. Policy debates were discussed, sound bites were deployed, but the elephant in the chamber, or rather, the absence of an elephant named Nigel, loomed over the entire session. According to insiders, this may reflect a new, unspoken strategy within both Labour and the Conservatives: don't amplify Farage by mentioning him. The fear is that by engaging directly, they risk validating his growing status as a populist voice of opposition, one who thrives on being the outsider. But critics say this approach only reinforces Farage's narrative. Running scared, aren't they? The Hot Takes episode asked rhetorically. In truth, Farage doesn't need to be named to exert influence. His messaging, sharp, emotive, and often controversial, is resonating with a swath of disaffected voters who feel abandoned by the mainstream. Many have turned to Reform UK as an outlet for their dissatisfaction with the cost of living, immigration, cultural issues, and the perceived political elite. Farage, ever the showman, has capitalised on this silence. Without lifting a finger in Parliament, he's managed to shift the national conversation, and now, according to some observers, he's casting a long shadow over PMQs itself. He's not in the chamber, said one political strategist, but every MP in there knows he's the one voters are talking about. The implications are significant. If the two main party leaders continue to avoid confronting Reform UK and its figurehead, they may inadvertently be fueling the very movement they hope to contain. As public confidence in traditional politics continues to waver, Farage's image as the outsider willing to speak hard truths only becomes more appealing to some segments of the electorate. In the meantime, the silence speaks volumes. The leaders of Britain's two major parties may still hold office, but more and more it appears that the real momentum is with the man outside of it.